This chick was my best friend, and she had this big fat rock, and I was staring at it on the day we went to go in Sidisa after her dad died. And even though we grew up from primary school, high school, varsity, we went to the same primary, high school, varsity, but we'd been together pretty much all our lives at that stage. And yes, we'd been together all our lives pretty much, and we had spoken as kids, as young adults, as teenagers about marriage, and on the day I get married, on this, on that, blah blah. It's a very exciting topic that among young women, among girls on the come up as they're growing up. You would imagine that if a woman is going to have somebody put such a big rock on them, that they would get on the phone screaming with their closest friends. They would make an announcement. They would put it on social media. They would call everybody for an engagement party. They would do a big reveal. They would, it would become the topic of discussion on WhatsApp, group chat, maybe even email. Umfazi does not just get engaged and be here, unless it was just a formality. Ugyo chap. Yeah. A lot of these women that married these guys were like my former best friend. By the time somebody proposed marriage to her and put a ring on her finger, it was like, okay. Literally, no one knew. I found out that this chick was engaged on her dad's, not funeral, but on the day when her dad died. Me and my friends from high school, we made an appointment to go and see Siot Sidisa, and this chick was rocking this elite Genji. And I just looked at it and I was like, how in the world? I knew she was pregnant, because as soon as she felt pregnant, she told me, but I did not know anything about engagement. We get there and this chick is out here. How am I finding out that you are engaged, sis? Because your dad died and we just so happened to see you. So if I did not see you, this chick was so big on milestones and celebrating events. She had a graduation party. We were all there. The beach, the party, the balloon, everything. If there is a milestone, we went to it. 16th birthday party, all of those things. She was big about celebration, and yet she got engaged. And we actually be looking at this 4-5 month pregnant chick that's just like, yeah, no, I can say this, that. She's wearing this ring and I don't know nothing about it. Best friend. If I didn't know, then you must understand nobody else knew. Until that day, all of us rock up and we're like, oh, what a rock. Congratulations. When did this rock get on your finger? So if there's a rock, chances are maybe even lobola was either already negotiated or about to be negotiated. Whatever. That would be among, dog. It wasn't yet negotiated. I don't know what this chick just did not tell of milestones anymore. She just did not tell of milestones anymore, okay? Because she fell pregnant by a man that she wanted to leave. And this dude held her back, ka bring back lost lover. And then wamspatisa quickly. Such that when he finally proposed marriage, she was like, okay. I mean, I am pregnant with your child, so fine. That's the one. That's the one. There's another one. That was not so much my best friend, but we were tied. She was the girlfriend of she was basically my ex-boyfriend's, one of my ex-boyfriend's best friend's girlfriends. And we became fast friends because of them too. They were friends and we met and liked each other to a point of having our own relationship apart from the guys. friends on Facebook, every so often meeting for lunch and stuff. She was my girl, Nele Chomiak, even though I met him through my friend, my ex. This chick had my number, she had my Facebook, she emailed everything. Everything. One day I go to a party. My ex and I go to some party in Soweto. I hadn't seen her for like a year. She is the girlfriend of one of my ex's best friends. Even my ex-boyfriend didn't tell me this. How did he not know? Go to some party, go Soweto. And when we get to this party in the hood, I see her, she's there with a couple of other girls. And I'm like, let's say her name was Lerato. Hey, Lerato. Karabo, hi. Oh my goodness, it's been so long, girl. Oh, I've missed you. I've been seeing you on Facebook, you're busy. Yeah, I've also been seeing you on Facebook, you've been busy. Blah, blah. It had been about a year since I last saw her. We hug and it's all fun and games and we're excited and we're laughing. And then she drops a bomb on me. I have a 2-month-old. What? Pregnancy? She's like, I have a 2-month-old. I'm like, when did you girl, are you telling me it's been that long since I saw you? That you went through 9 months. Oh, fail. Delivered. And now I'm seeing you at a party. You've even lost the baby fat. She looked exactly the same as she did before. And she was a baby mama now with a 2-month-old baby. And she said nothing to Abangan back. The baby shower, it came and went. I was close enough with this girl to at least go to the baby shower. Yeah, no. Yeah, I'm a 2-month mama. I'm the baby mama of a 2-month-old baby. My former best friend put witchcraft on me, so too did this chick. The guy that she had the baby with. He was one of my ex's closest friends. I found her there. She was already with him for a couple of years at the time that I met her. And this dude was so unloving. He was so cold. I remember one time him saying to her, with me in the car and my ex in the car, that I don't expect me to be like, let's say my ex-boyfriend's name was Tamba. Don't expect me to be like Tamba. I'm not the flower buying kind. I'm not the type to buy chocolates. And this chick was like, but why? I want flowers. I want chocolates. And I remember thinking, so what do you guys do to show that you're in love with each other? Does the guy just call you and say, hello baby unjani, blah blah, I love you? So he just talks a whole bunch, but he doesn't wine you, he doesn't dine you, he doesn't do things that boyfriends do. Like he wouldn't, like he'd never rock up a shirt, some earrings. How do you guys jolla? Is it just him picking you up and then you going partying and then at the end of the day you have sex and you've been doing that for years? How's that a relationship? How are you not his sex buddy? How are you not his cuddy buddy? That's not a relationship. There's no reciprocity. There's no love. There's no things that people do in order to display Uti. This is a different relationship from that which I have with a friend or a family member or even just a woman that I'm having sex with. Like, how are you not this guy's cuddy buddy? How are you not this guy's sex buddy? Given that he does not do anything that makes you from all the other women with whom he cheats. That was the first thing. And then this guy I didn't like him. I hated him. I couldn't stand him. Even though he was kind, he was sweet, I didn't like him because, yeah, I don't know how many of his side pieces I saw. Yo, hey, this guy Nabamba Yezwa. In the beginning of my relationship with my ex and him, I can't really say that they grew apart. Like, throughout our relationship, he had different close friends. So for the first 2 years, it was this guy. And then the last, like, 2 years, and then the next 2 years was another guy. And then the last year that we were together was another guy that he got close with. You know how that happens sometimes with friends. You tighter with one at given spots, but they all stayed friends. So this one was always around, and we were always hanging out with him. And because my ex did not have a car in the beginning, we always used to go partying and whatnot with this guy. And I was always there with my ex, but he wasn't always there with her. And when he wasn't there with her, he would bring Dinyatsi. I get like so many little side pieces, so he was cheating like no man's business. First and foremost, there was a cheating that I witnessed, and I didn't say anything because that's we're like women, we are to have a mindset that snitches get stitches. We don't tell. Well, that was the thing back then. I would now today not be that disloyal. Anyway, whatever. That was the first issue, right? And then there was the stories. There were the stories over and above what I saw with my own physical eyes. There were all the other stories that my ex would tell me about this guy's feats, and so I couldn't stand. I hated him. I really didn't like him because he was just a horrible boyfriend. Over and above you not even every so often giving this woman some chocolates, you also are cheating. So I just felt like this chick, my prayer is that Otlo Zwamo. But she was with him since high school. It was one of those things. Hey, yo, I wanted her to get out. So when I found out that she was a baby mama of a 2-month-old, I remember just being like, snap. She was supposed to leave that guy. She wasn't supposed to stay with him. Their fights were so horrible. She would whopper him and slap him, and like what their relationship was essentially what we all call toxic. And when this chick fell pregnant, waba here, nobody knew. Like, her girls did not know until I bump into her at like some party in the hood, and she's out here telling me that she's got a 2-month-old baby at home, and I'm like, yo, like an entire 9 months into Lile girl, and you didn't think to call me? You didn't think to say, hey, I'm pregnant, hey, let's go shop for baby clothes, hey, yeah, just let me know. Like, you can DM me on Facebook, write me an email, call me, you have my number, nothing. Even my boyfriend didn't know that she's pregnant because he was not at that stage. Him and the guy had not so much grown apart, but they weren't hanging out so much anymore. What I'm trying to explain is that when women just so happen to fall pregnant with a guy that they really wanted to leave, big things they don't announce. They just go through them. They don't announce engagements. They don't announce rings. They don't like, you will see a chick out here just with a big fat chunky rock on her finger when you're eating pizza, and you be like, but girl, when were you ever gonna tell me? And she's like, oh yeah, no, he proposed. For real? Or she will go through a whole 9-month tenure of carrying a pregnancy to term, and you will bump into her after 5 months of giving birth and find out that she's a mom, when the two of y'all were close enough for you to at least find out. And yet you found out because you bumped into her at a party. That's what happens when women give men babies that wanted to leave these men, but these men held them hostage. Bring back lost lover, all that jazz. Holding women hostage in relationships when they did not sign up for it. Telling yourself that uzopumala in a casket. No woman leaves me. Like, they have determined that you're gonna be my wife even though I'm gonna burden the living daylights out of you with whatever under heaven I am. So I was en route, essentially being one of those chicks that are out here be telling one of my closest friends that I've got a 5-month-old, and she never saw my whole pregnancy. Or one day an event happens, we bump into each other at the mall, and she's like, you and I are too tight, we talk every day. You and I are too tight, you my bestie. How do I not know that you got a rock on your, like, Papa Genyo or is it not the real deal? Is it a crystal? It's not a real diamond. Are you playing like a little girl playing house? Are you playing make-believe? Hey? Like with me, I've got this ring. It's a Jesus ring. Inside it's inscribed, wed to Christ. When I got it, I didn't feel a need to tell anybody I got it because, you know, it was not from a man. I wasn't married. But understand that if at all a man proposed marriage to me, my best friend was going to find out. I was going to make it a thing. It was going to be a celebration because it's a milestone, a big one that we walk through in life, in general. You know, in your quarter life, you walk through that milestone, and when it happens, it is a big thing. Especially if you've been dreaming about it since you were just a little girl. And then it happens, and we actually be finding out because your dad passed away, and we all came to Tsidisa. All of the wives of his boys. When you've been dating a guy for years in Jeffela and you just feel like, let's just do it. There was another one at MTN. She wasn't so much my friend, but the friend of my friend at MTN. She had newly gotten married. And my friend told me the story. She was like, hey, Pinky got down here. Like, Pinky has just gotten married. And Pinky was like, and then she said, but it's like they were already married anyway, so it's nothing different because they were already living together and they already had 2 kids, so they just made it a formality. And I remember thinking, but I mean, there's just such an anticlimax to that. Like, you know, when you have taken a guy's nonsense for so long, and because he is your baby daddy and you don't want to have children with any other person and you want your kids to have the same father, you just keep him around, you just marry anyway. When women marry in such environments as these, there's no cause for celebration. They will be very clandestine about it. People are not gonna know, or if they know, it's just spoken about in passing. That you're telling somebody you're writing an exam next week Friday, like information that really, if I didn't know, really nobody's gonna miss it. They don't treat it like a milestone. Yeah, well, I dodged that bullet. My ex-boyfriend wanted to bring me into his life so that I couldn't Jeffela after 3 weeks of being back together. So phone like cousin Yaka, hi, I went to the doctor and I skipped my period. He said that I'm 2 weeks pregnant. Because I got back together with somebody that decided to go to law. She is going to be a punyuga bampete, so I gotta hold her hostage with a baby. My ex tried to do that. I had so many dreams of me being pregnant with his child, the pregnancy growing at record speeds, and me being very extremely unhappy because I did not know why under heaven am I pregnant with someone I don't want to be with. I dodged the bullet. I came to Christ. I gave my life to the Lord, and so because I gave my life to the Lord, I dodged the bullet of telling my girls when I'm 5 months pregnant that, oh, I have a 5 months pregnant. When I've got a 5-month-old that, oh, I've got a 5-month-old, when they never even saw me pregnant. Or just walk into a room with a big rock, but ain't nobody mentioned anything about an engagement. And they wanted me to enter into something like that. I dodged it. So I really and truly at this particular juncture do not care that people feel entitled to my funeral because I dodged those bullets. Jesus is the difference. He is the reason why I did not make an announcement of my 5-month-old because I bumped into someone at the mall who found out only then. He's the reason why I did not have an anticlimax proposal. He's the reason why I did not marry a guy that I had tried to leave 20 other times before. But now I'm marrying him because I said Sinabantwana by 2. I wanted something fresh, I wanted something clean, and I'm getting it, okay? When you are close to your breakthrough, the devil, he will charge his minions on you. And so my ex, he's been charged. He's just another minion. He's been charged. Gasani, it'll be somebody else. The next day it's going to be some crackhead that I don't even know. You will keep coming at me until I break through in ways that are observable, and even in the center of that breakthrough you will still be throwing me with psychosis. My ministry is your inspiration. It's your motivation. You look at this binary code and you think that you can tell yourself, over my dead body before Karabo will get married, as if though you're in any position to make that decision. Over your dead body, then I guess die, right? I mean, you insisted, so bye. You insisted. I'm Bioshona again. Over your dead body before I should get married. Peace, boy. The days come and gone long ago where upon hearing Utushonile ngizokhala ngathi nginja. Ngizodive inside the casket ngathi I'm an Olympic swimmer. I'm past that era where mengsaba ke boifa ke tsogile hore ka tlhokafala. I used to fear for your life because ngithanda angisenanda. So now when you go in the grave, I used to love you, I don't now. Your witchcraft is chilling in my bones like carbon monoxide or sleeping gas or hunger for 5 days and your body feels so weak that you can't move. Your witchcraft is chilling in my bones like utwala sabo understanding liquor that you can't hold. Utwala bo lokisang. Alcohol you've never drank before, so it doesn't sit right on your stomach. Your witchcraft is sitting on me like into esinda umzimba or exercise, too much pushing in the gym. Basically, the next day limping. When you stand up, you feel like your body is a sack of potatoes. Your muscles are sore. That's what your witchcraft has done. Your witchcraft has worn out my body. I'm weak. I'm weak like I haven't eaten for 7 days. My body feels listless. I'm foggy. I'm foggy, like mushy, like I could stagger as I walk instead of walk in a straight line. And you expect me to marry someone that can do that to me with spells? Dragging my body in saga through like a proper. I would need to make like a ball at the top of a mountain just to walk. I would need the propelling force of just to grow nje. I would need an initial inertia, some push. And then the rest of it would have to be done by gravity because me lift my own leg to walk. I don't even know how back then I was not always tired because of your witchcraft. I don't know how back then I was not always sleepy, skipping work, cause but that's the thing, I wasn't saved, right? I wasn't saved back then, so I did not have the Spirit of God in me who makes severe war with darkness. The thing I'm feeling is spiritual war. It is the Holy Spirit resisting the filth. So young kataza is like a sack of potatoes on my back. But a person in the world won't necessarily feel sleepy and tired. They'll just feel lust, or they'll just feel a re-energized batch of feelings for somebody that they don't want. They'll just feel an urge to have a baby quickly when they're yet to be married to this baboon. They'll just, yeah, mudimu, witchcraft. It doesn't necessarily afflict your body physically. If its intention is not to afflict your body physically, it just comes here and alters your emotions and makes you think that someone is wonderful when they're not. But when you're in Christ, it'll always whammy you with sleepiness, the feeling of drunkenness, of fogginess, of sense of foreboding, bereavement, bereft heart state. It'll just make you feel like death warmed up because the Spirit of God is at enmity with entities that are trying to insist upon something. So that's also the chock-a-block that you're met with, bugger. Fact that I can't lose my salvation. I'm filled with the Holy Spirit, so if I were to end up with you, I'd be compromising, settling, sinning against God and putting myself in an unequal yoking, and so I would have a worse time with you in the future than I ever could before, because now I'm going to be walking around like a sack of potatoes, where before I was able to be bouncy and jovial, albeit unaware to myself that I'm in a trance. I'm hallucinating that I'm in love here. This time around, I'm going to be both hallucinating and walking around like a bag of potatoes. Can't have your bread buttered on both sides, bugger. But one thing that you did achieve though, because I get you didn't want me going out on you, like proper. I don't know, like, who did you think you were dating? You know, you out here projecting your character flaws on me. You were the one that cheated. I never cheated even once. You were the one that was all over the show, got drugs and responsible. And yet you went and used witchcraft on me to not go out on you. All that it did was mess with our sex life. You will remember that? Remember how I got my period for a whole month? Bleeding, going to gynae, from gynae to gynae, wondering what's happening with me. Why am I bleeding? It wasn't a month, it was 2 months. Non-stop, I'm just bleeding. And when I talk about it, oh baby, it'll be okay. You didn't even know about it. What's it? You did something to your dude. Hey, oh, hi guys. Hi Shem, it's a jungle out there. I don't even know why you guys don't want Jesus. Ay. I was on my period for 2 months. It wasn't my period, of course. I was just bleeding down there. One gynae wanted to operate on me. You know how doctors can't diagnose these spiritual conditions? Did a scan on my ovaries, my womb area, and he was like, you need an operation. That operation thing, I was also gonna get a Mirena device because I wasn't ready to be pregnant. I'm grateful I didn't do that intrauterine device because it would have lasted 5 years, that intrauterine device, and then I would have had to take it out, but I would have lost my job somewhere along the way. With me having an IUD in my body without medical aid, it was just going to be rough to get rid of it, okay? So I'm glad I didn't get an IUD, but that doctor wanted to operate on me because he diagnosed me with ovarian cysts. He diagnosed me with ovarian cysts and said that's the reason why I keep on bleeding, so he needs to do an operation and then I will stop bleeding. I told my sister, she was like, sometimes they just want to make money by charging your medical aid proper. No, go get a second opinion. I go get a second opinion, and that gynae is like, no, you don't need an operation. Just this will this will run its course. She told me that it's gonna run its course. She gave me blood thinners and they worked. They stopped the bleed. Some Ghanaian Santon, a black lady, gave me blood thinners and that finally made me stop bleeding, but no one knew what was causing me to have my period all month long. 2 months. I was on my period for 2 months. 2 months. Yesterday I did a video about pestilence, how it is that witchcraft, people can induce cancers, flu, istreto, like pimples on your face, all different kinds of things. Yeah, well, my ex made me bleed for 2 months because his witchcraft went awry. He fetched on me a spell to not sleep with another guy, to not go out on him. I don't know if he put it in my food or if he rubbed it on his manhood and then went in me, but bottom line is I bled for 2 months straight, went from pillar to post to from gynae to gynae. I think I saw a total of about 4 gynaes in that time, one of which wanted to operate on me, until some other lady gave me blood thinners that finally stopped the bleeding, and just like she recommended, it ran its course. Maybe that was the beginning of your now witchcraft thing, but after me bleeding for 2 months ill, sex was painful from that date going forward. So his witchcraft basically ruined even our sex life. He was trying to get me to not have sex with another guy, and he messed up with our sex life. I could not again from that date with any level of comfort or ease go more than one round sexually, because it was just painful. It would burn, it would sting, my urine would burn afterwards. So I had to basically give it a week of recovery before I could go back again to the drawing board. A week, and then yeah, he did that. So basically I was supposed to go out there in the wilderness, sleep with some other guy, and it be so painful that I would not sleep with him or whatever. I don't know. It messed with even our sex life. And I told him, Hore, I don't know what's wrong with me, but it now hurts to do this thing and I can't go more than once. What is wrong? What is wrong? I don't know. I went to gynaes upon gynaes and the problem never ended. It never stopped. I did stop bleeding, but it didn't stop hurting. So much so. Whereas it never hurt in the beginning. So much so, I was a fornicator, right? So much so that when I finally came to Christ, I prayed about it. When I came to the Lord and I asked for a husband and marriage and all that jazz, I was like, Father, sex hurts. And I know that I wasn't supposed to have sex before marriage. I'm sorry. But could you please cure me? Because I remember a time when it never hurt. I remember a time when it did not give me problems. Yeah. I asked God to cure me. So I don't know if I'm better. Because I haven't had sex since him. I don't know if I'm all healed. I could only find out with my husband. But he's yet to come. And time will tell if the Lord healed me. But certainly what I now know is that that was spiritual. That Lenjalena put stuff on me to ascertain that I don't go out on him. And it was supposed to likely work with me being in too much pain with any other guy but him. But it ruined even our sex life. So yeah. I don't know. And a guy that did that to me thoroughly expects ukuthi mina. I'm gonna get back together with that. Oh goodness, guys, witchcraft. That man that made me. I mean, why didn't my ex freak out when I just when I was bleeding? Like I was just on my period. It's like I was hemorrhaging for 2 months. He knew that it was causally connected to the spell that he did. Why didn't that make him pray to God or something? Like, hey man, like he just watched me suffer and go from gynae to gynae to gynae. Guys, I mean, ngizodliswa kabuhlungu kanjena for how long? That's why next kabaloyi. I don't want a man that does not know God. I'm a deal, dude. As soon as I find out that a guy is into witchcraft, I'm like, I'm not gonna eat nestam in a marriage. I'm not gonna jisiwa. I'm not gonna have some insecure. The guy in America, the same thing that my ex did to me, he was going to ramp it up even more. He was so insecure. He was so possessive and insecure, where I'm concerned that this time around, my whole reproductive system was going to come out in period blood with a demonic ritual. The way I felt like he would have done such reinforcing witchcraft to make sure I don't go out on him, because he will have known that he came in gadiklar. I was made to be on my period for 2 months, go fail, and it stopped on its own, but the sex never stopped hurting. And y'all think, hey, you expect me, after enduring that, after dodging that bullet, that I'm gonna walk away from Jesus because apparently he's abandoned me? Eh? Apparently he's left me alone. That's why my YouTube channel is so quiet. That's why nobody's watching it. You think I'm gonna go that's gonna make me be on my period for a year just to make sure a woman that had no signs or hints in her of infidelity or unfaithfulness, that would never cheat. Nonetheless, when now you are doing reinforcing witchcraft. to make sure that I don't go out on you. Mara wena you can go on off out there with some other females to a point of causing me distress at call center. I told you that story just earlier. Yeah. So devastated when I found out that you cheated. Didn't cheat on you, but hey, just in case, you're gonna bleed for 2 months, just in case. And you didn't even see it fit to at least disclose. Let me know, baby, this is the reason why you're bleeding. I'm so sorry. Well, I mean, of course he knew that if I had found out that he used witchcraft on me, that was gonna be the end of our relationship. So he just had to watch me and Jefela suffer from his sorcery. How and yes, again, yes, you guys, that he kept a straight face the whole time. He kept a straight face. He kept a straight face the entire time. No wonder he was so patient with me. Shame. I'll give him that much. Mega patient. No wonder. No wonder he didn't pressurize me when I didn't want to have sex again after just one round. He didn't give me grief, shame. And I thought it was only because he was a gentleman. No, it's because he knows what he did. And so when then Mina, I couldn't do anything for him. Again. He just left me alone because he knew what he did to me. That's what relationships with worthless men, worthless women achieve. A man insisted upon to be impotent in the climate of other women, but for his wife. Kava. You can tell that something's wrong with your body. You don't have the same vigor. When you know how men are so easy for them to get sexually aroused in comparison to women. And the same vigor that you used to have, you don't have it anymore around beautiful women, and you just think, you can tell that something's wrong, but you just think, maybe you're getting older. Your sex drive is waning. That's why now your colleague doesn't do it for you anymore. Kante, it's that rubbish of a girlfriend or of a wife that's told herself, no one but me, ndoda. And that's your wife. They're everything that's wrong with this country. Spiritual manipulation and sexual harassment of men and women by people that just feeling gati wami, I am going to handle you. Putting a badge of ownership on a whole human being made in the image of God, belonging to no one but the God of the universe. Muntu. It's gonna go and make doubly sure that you can't have sex with anybody else out there by making you either bleed for months on end, or as a man, cause you to believing that you need to now use Viagra to get happy because you are no longer able to work right. Because with my ex, what happened with me, with our relationship, it was collateral damage. It wasn't supposed to do that with him. I think he was the chosen one, the special one. It wasn't supposed to happen with him. It was supposed to happen with any other guy that I would go out on him with. But then it messed with our relationship. So your wives will be out here struggling with you. You can't be happy with a mistress. Collateral damage. Will she ever admit it? Never. Is struggling, feeling all insecure and emasculated, out here having to pop a blue pill to get busy, and yet he can't figure out what's wrong. Goes to doctors, everything is healthy, scans, nothing is out of whack. Healthy man. And you just think maybe it's stress, it's work, it's age. Can't take him study what thing. I suga guys, no. I'm sorry. Like, y'all need to start praying to God for a spiritual gifting, or just hedging to make sure even when they try, something must just block them, whether or not you have a spiritual gift, because but who's listening to me? No one. But that's just the thing. Precisely because nobody's listening to me, I'm out here getting a whole bunch of baboons. Do you understand what I'm saying? Thoroughly plotting and scheming around how quiet my ministry is, and saying that if you don't embrace and take what it is, Karabo, that I'm offering you, die then. I got a whole bunch of people out just saying of me that King Company got die. Hey guys, I'm not dying. I'm getting married. I told you. I am moving from this country. You are everything that's wrong with South Africa, Batagati, and you keep on ramping up in your numbers. I am not going to bleed for 2 months and struggle to lay with my husband because I'm always sore, because he's insecure that I might go out on him. And him out here, not even confess to me what he did, because of course it's a shameful thing to confess. And I must just suffer, spending all of my money, co-payments on medical aid and prescriptions that don't work for a spiritual sickness. I am not going to marry an ungodly man, especially considering they tend to love witchcraft over and above just generally being ungodly. Mara man, oh man, how they adore for themselves righteous women. Dude, you put yourself in a position, you're kidwa, lazy. I wouldn't even tell them if you would just leave me alone. And in our futi, you would not be struggling to let go if you would just leave me alone. Mengeke uhlaze, died chicken that you married if you had just left me alone. Everybody would just have their lives move on, and there would be no need for me to highlight these issues if you had just left me alone. Mara ufuna ukungiyeka, so ke ha o ka hlazwa ke taba ya hore mosadi o ntse mo jesa jwanong o batla o mo tlogesa o batla mo go tlogetsisa Christianity just so you can go back to the drawing board o lo mo bleedisa happy for 2 months hore a ska tlo go cheatela. You want me leaving Jesus so you can finally succeed to hit a bullseye and bring me back into the life of a man that had already held me violently hostage for years once before and expects to do that again. It's just that Christ is standing in the way. Remember that guy from KZN, one numerologist, the friend of my friend's boyfriend, who told you a very powerful man is going to give you a run for your money, a prognosticator. It was after him. It was after the prophecy of that baboon of Satan that you started to invest in a whole bunch of witchcraft where I'm concerned. Wachela, upon looking at his numbers, when he asked for your name and surname and your birth date, and then he told you, Momaslo, Geliteng in the room, a very powerful man is going to give you a run for your money. And because of that, drunk, because he was out of his mind, inebriated, because of the false prophecy of that inebriated baboon of a pagan numerologist prognosticator, you then started to invest in a whole bunch of witchcraft against your girlfriend, and it ended our relationship after a couple of years of spiritual abuse. Lo and behold, all these years down the line, I think it's starting to dawn on you that the powerful man that he saw in his little prognosticative visions, like the witch at Endor with Saul, that powerful man he was talking about was Jesus. You thought I was gonna leave you for some dude with a Ferrari, some dude with a Lamborghini, some dude with a wad of dollars ezingaga, some guy wa kick and boboza, some dude with a mansion in Santon. You thought I was being as ride or die as I was to your broke behind. You thought I was gonna leave you for some cash daddy. And it turns out that the person that finally set me free from the clutch of your sorcery was Jesus. And it was the very prognostication of a pagan drunk that made you fulfill that prophecy. You went out of your way to block me from leaving you for a cash daddy. And I met Jesus. And now all these years down the line, look at it go. A very powerful man is giving you a run for your money, isn't he? You fulfilled the prophecy of a false prophet. You fulfilled the prophecy of a prognosticator of a drunkard, who, having downed a Jack Daniels, made you bewitch your girlfriend for the next coming years. Yazi, that prognosticator told my ex, you're very spiritual, your girlfriend isn't. Told my ex that there's something about me. Yazi, ish, y'all, ish. That's why y'all need to stop seeing the sangoma, medium soothsayers. And that guy, we didn't even consult him. We didn't consult him. He was the friend of my best friend's boyfriend, and we were visiting him. And not staggering. He was drunk. But he was a spiritist, and numerologist, and a prognosticator, and decided to give us our readings. It's like we were in a Ouija board session or something. And in that reading, actually boyfriend Yam, that a very powerful man is gonna give him a run for his money. After that session with that numerologist, who did not give me my prophecy because he kept on looking at me on some yo, told me he'll give it to me the next morning. He never pitched because he was Baba last. That little baboon that gave us our readings, I told my ex afterwards that don't take him seriously, baby. I love you. I'd never leave you for some moneyed guy Wanseba. And do you know what he said? He said, yo, I don't know. I'm like, dude, you've been with me. We've been together for 2 years. How you gonna say you don't know me? You see, my ex-boy, he used to listen to me friends. He listened to like males. He listened to a whole bunch of misogynists. Men that don't trust women, even though women have not displayed to them that I'm untrustworthy. Umfazi, that's been nothing but ride or die from day one. He went and listened to friends. Yes, guys, when I met my ex, abangani bakhe were just sitting complacent. When I met him, he was 26, I was 22. He couldn't drive. I taught my ex how to drive. Like, how do you have so many boys who can drive that don't see it fit to take time out of their own schedules and teach you how to drive? They didn't care about him. A woman rocks up and invests in him, the licensing department, the whatnot, and then you listen to some prognosticator that tells you that after I invested all that much in my man, you deserve to have gone on right ahead to bewitch me until I bled for 2 months, boy. You deserve it. You deserve to have done that to me until after 3 years of spiritual abuse, because I started to interrogate the things of God. He separated us. That man just kept listening to rubbish, even though I was the only person that was ever ride or die to him. Abangani bakhe bamyekelile nebantu bamofepa didwelems didagamiso. I was when guys, our first kiss, I remember saying to my cousin, his mouth is so dry, his tongue is so dry, because he was on drugs. A couple of months into our relationship, I noticed, and I told him, I was like, your mouth is not dry anymore. I guess that means you are speaking the truth when you say you stopped taking drugs. That's the kind of influence that I was on that dude. I removed the dry tongue because I removed the drugs out of his system. He was motivated sufficiently, inspired sufficiently to leave drugs because of my presence. Umfazi that got a dude that every so often was snuff lines of cocaine, pop ecstasy pills and whatnot. A woman that rocks up and does that kind of change in a man. There's some little sango masatan wako deben. Abamozotso gona ke tlo mo dampa ke succeed le nna ho tlosa monna di drugseng obo mo golwa ha o kata bong lawyer abut ku tlositse di drugseng obo wena o mfepa tsona. I take you off drugs and you feed me drugs. It's no wonder a powerful man finally came and gave you a run for your money. And look at the powerful man that came. It was an innocuous God. It was not me cheating. It was me giving my life to the life giver. The powerful man that was being spoken about was Jesus. That's how faithful I was. Now today's probably like, ish, you're lost, dude. He lost me to God. Because he hated God to handle me. He disobeyed God to handle me. He tried to keep me in the relationship by disgruntling God. And so God rescued me from him. If at all that man had believed me, and if at all that man had believed what I said, and if at all he had believed what he had experienced, his own experiences with Ikel van der Corner, Who knows? We would have both turned to Christ and walked into the sunset later on. Ke ha ka tshepa motho that showed themselves as ride or die. Somebody that rocked up and displayed that they got your back, they want your best interests. If at all he had stayed a sober, decent oak, the Lord might have rescued us both. But instead, when I gave my life to Christ, the Lord was like, yazini, dude, and so God ripped me from out of his hands, because he decided to go and follow the prophecy of some little satani etta wenka Jack Daniels ko Durban. That's just what in the world it is that happens instead of Jesus. You will out here project your insecurities on people that have not had them coming. You will burn bridges. You will destroy perfectly viable relationships. Yes, I hate talking about this guy. The company 13 years ago, I hate talking about him. I hate it. I hate talking about this guy because I should not be still talking about him. Mara, how in the world am I not going to talk when he afflicts me so much? 13 years. Yes, and whatever. Now all I gotta say is, who cares, man? Like, nobody's even watching my content. The bottom line is, all these attempts to block prophecy, it's not gonna work. You can wear me out, stagger me around the streets, and until kingdom come. But understand that you are everything that's wrong with South Africa. When this country finally crashes, burns, with a splat falls from a dizzy height on the ground, you will have done it. You will have gone on right ahead and bewitched your girlfriends and your boyfriends until men could not work their manhood and women bled for months. You will have made men impotent with witchcraft and women just... What is going on? Like, why are you... Yeah. You will have made people infertile. You would have married women to bad men and vice versa. You will have impregnated women quickly so as to mark your territory. Like putting a tattoo of your name on that woman. Kangwan. Just to say like marking her, tagging her like an animal with a stapler. A tag, but instead of it being inkomo or ringulube, it's a whole person. Muntu that's been tagged like an animal by some person that is using a whole human being made in the image of God to hold a woman hostage. You think Ukutabafazi are the only ones that trap men with pregnancies? No. In the occult, men trap women with pregnancies. It is a strategy. Ugumitisi girlfriend that keeps on threatening to leave, because it tends to make them accept an engagement, a proposal from a guy that they wanted to walk away from, because they know how hard it is to find love once you're a baby mama. A lot of guys out here be like me, nobody's stepdad, so they just take the random baby daddy in their stride, even though they've been plotting for 2 years to leave this baboon. I dodged a bullet. So yeah, with that being put out there, let me go drink coffee and see how I recover. This is gonna take a couple of days of prayer. If I'm blessed, maybe just this 24 hours. But I feel like a sack of potatoes. Ex-boyfriend, yes, I get y'all. I can't really say that he's the only one that makes me feel like this, but presently the reigning sorcery is his. And this is why I'm leaving South Africa. You will keep on subjugating saints of the living God to this tyranny. You will keep on being these mutineers. You will keep on mocking and teasing a 40-year-old woman saying that my ship has sailed. So because my ship has sailed, because my ship has sailed, I need to go mina and eat stale bread. Into akudala that I was supposed to consume fresh out of the oven. Kodwa yangimoshela isikhathi, yangibalekela, yangigijimela. You Ajo were the one that was playing the squid game nam when we were together. Wangipaleha nkare unogwaja boy. And now that you're stale, so batla go ke tlo go ja nkare o kota ke maswabi. Literally, I do apologize. Call me a woman whose ship has sailed as much as you want. But bottom line will always remain that even if I were to settle, because apparently my ship has sailed, there are better settles than you. There are men who are a better option to settle with than you. Noma ngingalahlekelwa ithemba from God, hoping in what He showed me is going to be mine. The first man I would give an opportunity to would not be one that came from my history. I would not accommodate anybody some ex-boyfriend that's made me bleed for months. It's not going to be you. So seeing as you are number mchela in this queue of possible sweeters with whom I could settle, and as you why you keep on pouring buckets of insanity in my grill. Angas, we are forced and there are better men with whom to settle. Better than you. So I get to believe nna ke tlo nka ntholing yona in my stride, mara ke mo nkgathaditse abuti, ke mo you've made my body like a log on the floor e imelang patsi fela e ke sa kgoneng o e kuka ke mo. My only prayer at this particular juncture is that you'll give your life to Christ, because you're facing death for messing with His saint. And since God does not delight in the death of him who dieth, I can only hope that this will make you do better. Khale, ule gullible, ule credulous, umataka moya, urana ka peer pressure, abut, usa khone go iketsa di decisions. So for once in your life, so instead of life ya rabishi, instead of ANC, instead of diklare, instead of cult, instead of opinions at chomi, cause kimo go sa ti khone go diketsa decision tsa gago in your own unique capacity upon taking factors and making an informed decision that is for the best one for your life, seeing as you've always struggled to make simple decisions based on simple facts. Start now. It's never too late to be mature in decision making. Start now. Okay? Start making the decision that is the best one for you, and not so much the one that comes as a result of counsel from some stupid friend or some cult member. Because look at how much you've lost because of babako. Oglalela abangani bakho abangathanda abafazi, nokulalela i-ANC, nokulalela imali, nokulalela your selfish ambition. For once, make a decision based on, is this going to make me a healthy man tomorrow or a sad man? And then run with it. If not, your loss. I'm standing out in Christ's name, Krenke.